I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about Colby Covington slams Sean Strickland for his Cageside Brawl with Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 296. This is what Colby Covington said. Sean Strickland's a liability to the UFC company. Colby Covington was accused of verbally crossing the line ahead of UFC 296 this past weekend, but Colby Covington thinks that Sean Strickland went too far on fight night. Much of the attention of the event, okay, we don't have to worry about that one. While Covington has been the subject of much criticism in the days since, a lot of the post-event discussion has centered on a different, outspoken, and often controversial UFC fighter, UFC current middleweight champion Sean Strickland. After a heated press conference back and forth with UFC 297 opponent Dricus Du Plessis on Friday, the pair was seated in close proximity to one another inside the T-Mobile Arena at UFC 296. After the broadcast showed the two men to previews next month's UFC 297 card in Toronto, Canada, Sean Strickland took the opportunity to attack Dricus Du Plessis, forcing security to intervene. Many have since called out Sean Strickland for the terrible move, and that includes Colby Chaos Covington. While he took aim at plenty during UFC 296 fight week, including Edwards, Wonderboy Thompson, and Tony Ferguson, perhaps the most notable shots Covington received came back from Sean Tarzan Strickland, slammed the ex-interim welterweight champion for his comments involving Leon Edwards' late father in the trash talk. When it comes to crossing a line, Chaos got his own back while speaking to the media in the aftermath of his defeat at UFC 296, having slammed Sean Strickland for previous remarks and antics. Covington was informed that Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis brawl cage side. Covington labeled his 185-pound counterpart a liability to the UFC. Sean Strickland, has been running his mouth and nothing he says makes sense. Old Colby goes to the cops, bro. You called the cops a couple of weeks ago, dude, when there was someone at your front door and then you pistol whipped him in the middle of the street, Covington said. I think Sean Strickland needs to worry about what he's got to get through just with the justice system before he even talks about fighting. That guy, Sean Strickland's a train wreck dude. That guy, Sean Strickland, is going to go do something stupid in the next couple of years. Covington continue. I did not hear that Sean Strickland attack on Dricus Du Plessis, but I am not surprised. Sean Strickland does not make very good decisions. Sean Strickland's a liability to the UFC. It's sad what Sean Strickland has done. I feel bad that the UFC has to deal with Sean Strickland as a champion. You just know what Sean Strickland, you just don't know what Sean Strickland is going to say next or what he's going to do. It's embarrassing, dude. You are at a professional event. You're going to fight the guy in a couple of months. What are you doing, man? Okay. Yeah, this it's an interesting article. I mean, this past weekend, the drama at UFC 296 wasn't it just overwhelming? You had Ian Gary. He had to get out of the card for illness. You had people talking crazy about Ian Gary's wife. You had people talking crazy about Sean O'Malley's wife. You had people talking crazy about Leon Edwards' father who passed away. You had people talking crazy about Sean Strickland's father, who I don't know the story there. I'm an MMA casual, so I don't follow everything, but it's not a subject I'm gonna even try to approach on this video. You had Sean Strickland talking crazy about Dricus Du Plessis trainer and how those two should be together, and it was a very, very messy weekend. Edwards versus Colby Covington wasn't the best main event. You have people, I see a lot of hardcore MMA fans really, really going hard on Edwards for his performance, and everyone has basically written off Colby Covington. It was basically embarrassing. You know, what he said about Leon Edwards' father, people were really disappointed and disgusted by those comments. Then he goes in, performs terrible, doesn't throw a punch the first 2 rounds, basically lose all 4 rounds. He lost the first 4 rounds. He may have won the 5th round, Colby Covington did, but it was an embarrassing performance. When he was making his speech, Donald Trump had left the arena, so no one's, Colby Covington right now, who knows what's going to happen with him. He did call out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if that fight is made sooner than later. But, but as far as Sean Strickland being a liability to the company because of this, I don't really know about that. I mean, when you have fights outside of the cage in the UFC, it's very few and far in between, right? Like, in my opinion, in boxing, every weekend, someone is, during their press event, someone's father is saying something crazy and punches are being thrown almost every weekend in a boxing press conference. But as far as UFC, I'm an MMA casual, so I can't remember all of these events as far as like fights that were caught on camera. But I do remember Edwards and Masvidal, those two, they had to be separated. Was it 2-piece and a soda or something like that? There was Cody and Conor, when Cody was like, I'll do something about it, and Conor, and he pushed Conor. No fists were thrown, but those were separations. Jones and Cormier, that was definitely the biggest brawl in UFC history, I would say, outside of the cage, when those two, they had to be separated and punches were thrown there. Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva, we saw that on camera, where Chael was like, I can't let you get close, right? Punches were thrown there. Michael Chiesa and Kevin Lee, right? Remember Kevin Lee, said something about about Chiesa's mother. Chiesa got ran up on. Punches were thrown there. They had to be separated. That was on camera. Who else? There was Kamaru Usman and Ali Abdelaziz, right? I think they were chasing after Colby Covington once. They had to be separated. I don't know if that was a fist fight or anything, but I remember seeing a video of Kamaru Usman and Ali Abdelaziz. They were doing something with Colby Covington, and the only one that got physical in the cage, from what I remember, was Jake Shields, Nate Diaz, and the Nate Diaz brothers, Melendez versus Mayhem Miller. That was in the cage, but that wasn't in the UFC. Outside of the UFC, we're not talking about. But yeah, as far as this fight happening, and it's not a good thing at all, but 1,000% the UFC is going to use it. You could see they posted it on their page. They're going to use it for the build-up for UFC 297, no matter what you say about incidents like this. And we all disown them. It was disgusting what Sean Strickland did. I don't agree with it at all in any way, shape, or form. It was really, really bad look. Kind of a liability. Sean Strickland, when he went to Australia, something happened with him and a fan, allegedly, So, and Sean Strickland has been known to training with some fans that could be, could be close to a liability. But, the UFC, they should be fine. They've definitely had a few fighters who, as Charlie Murphy would say, are habitual line steppers, right? Let's just be honest. This isn't the first time, as the examples I've given you, that this is the first time a fight has happened outside of the cage. Not a good look for Sean Strickland. Dricus Du Plessis clearly pressed the button when he talked about Sean Strickland's father. And, and a lot of people are saying, Sean Strickland talks crazy about a lot of people. He says a lot of things that go way over the line. And someone finally said something back to him, and now he's, trying to fight them in the street. So, like I said, not a good look for Sean Strickland. And the UFC will use this for promotion. More casual fans will buy this event because of that fight. But it's obviously these instances happen very, 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 very few and far in between, right? Very, very few and far in between when it comes to MMA fighters or UFC fighters. So I wouldn't say that Sean Strickland is the biggest liability to the UFC company in 20, like I said, the UFC definitely has a few habitual line steppers on their roster right now. It's definitely not Sean Strickland, but not a good look for Sean Strickland at all. having a fist fight with Dricus Du Plessis in the crowd. It's not a good look for Sean Strickland at all, and shame on him. But I'm an MMA casual, so what the hell do I know? But let me know your opinion about this story. I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about Colby Covington slams UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland for Sean Strickland Cageside Brawl with Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 296. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button. And please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.